Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In today's video we are going through my reading journal log and TV movie watching log as well, because they're in the same spiral. So this is reading and this is TV in this back section. So let's go ahead and get started. There are flying cats in this house. I don't know if my camera will be able to point up that high. Look at that. Anyways, I am not quite done with the month for January, so I'm not going to do full updates on and fill out some of the sections, like on how many I've watched and everything, because it is the 30th and there's still tomorrow, which is the 31st. Again, flying cats. So there's still the 31st as well, and I do plan to read tomorrow and probably watch some TV a little bit. I don't know how much I will actually be able to watch because I am meeting some friends for dinner across town and having some Korean barbecue. So, but yeah, let's go ahead. And the last time I did anything on this was getting it kind of set up in December, so I will leave a card in the top. I don't know which side it's going to be. It's going to be one of these two sides. I think it's going to be this side, actually. Watch me be wrong and it's on this side. I don't know. Anyways, I will leave a card, and it is in my Vlogmas videos and everything on getting these set up. My intentions for this year were to get back into reading, so I wasn't going to try to push myself to read, except for try to read every single day. And I want to read 12 books, so one book per month, and let's just say that January has far surpassed my expectations. I don't know if this is going to continue on because, you know, things will happen and all of that, but yeah, and then with movie and TV watching, I just want to keep track of what I've done. So let's go ahead and turn the camera down so you can kind of see what I am talking about. So this is my reading log, the front page, and this is an Erin Condren notebook that I kind of Franken planned or whatever. So I took several different types of sheets from different notebooks. So this is a dot grid right here, and then we have lined. Then back here we have more dot grid, the TV. So I have it kind of sectioned off where this is the whole reading section. And then I have the TV, and we have Yoda, baby Yoda. And the same with the TV, where I had dot grid for the log, lined to keep up with everything. And then I think at the very end I have somewhere, maybe not any dot grid. Lined, one dot grid here at the very back, and then the back cover for this. So that way I do the covers like this, and you see lots of reflections from all the lights, partly because when I am doing this I can rotate the things, but when I want to work on the TV one I can basically roll it around. Yes, there's a little where I don't know if you can see it, where it's the bent part of the kind of rubs up against it, but it at least allows me to be able to do this if I want to make it a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and talk about some other things that I am using in this, and that are, I thought I was going to use this pen, which is a friction 4-way. It's, you know, the 4 clicker things, and it's erasable, but I kind of write better with Sharpie pens. So that is what I've reverted back to, and it's the black and the blue, nothing special. And then I am using mild liners as well, and for January I've been using this blue color. I don't know if it even has a color on here, but it is just the blue that I've been using for January. some other things. Let me move the mouse out of the way. My HP Sprocket, and I've had this for many years, and it is just to print out the stickers that, not this sticker, but these stickers right here. And then of course my phone to connect to the Sprocket. So I did print out 2 stickers already, but I need to reprint several more. Okay, I had to find the stickers. So basically when I print them out where I have 2 on one sheet. These are 2" by 3" 2 by 3. And I rotate the picture and then add the 2 pictures to this. And then I just take scissors and cut right here, and then it is adhesive, so the back comes off of these. And I do this because these are TV shows. I have them right here, and then I also have them back here. So these kind of printed out a little funny, and I'm debating on whether I'm going to keep them or not. I do not have any undo because it wasn't going to come in time to film this and all of that. So I'm kind of debating on if I'm just going to reprint and then lay them on top of these, or just leave the ones there and all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I have finished this book right here, The Magical Midlife Invasion, and I'm just, to mark these little spots, I'm just using a little post-it note thing and then writing down the title and the author and just keeping track of them. And so that way I actually get like the right ones and then the pages and all of that type of stuff the right way. So I have finished this book. So these 4 I have finished. These 2 I am currently reading. This one's an audiobook that I'm listening to, and this one is a Kindle book. It's in the same series as these, and I want to finish this one by tomorrow. I still have a couple hours. I think I'm at 79% on the book. I still have, you know, the remaining 21% to read, and I don't think all of it is, there's the ending stuff on the book, so it's not completely all there. And that is Jack talking. I don't have the patience today. I'm really tired. You guys kept me up all night. So let's go ahead and print these out. I'm going to go ahead and put them in here because I plan on putting them. Well, I may not print this one out yet because I kind of want to have the series all together, and then, so I'm kind of debating on that on there. So basically, I'm going to go to the Sprocket app that goes with this, and I am going to go ahead and select, and I need to print out this one. And I've been saving the books in a different album, and I need Invasion, so I'm just going to select these 2 and then right down here. And you can kind of size sometimes, and I kind of want to try to get as much of the top as possible and all of that. So usually in the past I was able to basically size them a little bit, but these are not letting me size. I'm going to turn on the printer. I have it already synced and Bluetoothed and all of that type of stuff, or I have in the past. Go back. I'm gonna select, because I do plan on finishing this one, so I am like I said, I'm just gonna move this down here, and I don't actually need that. Having little nail stubs is not helping with this at all. Okay. That is crooked, but we'll go with it. And I'm just going to keep that like that. I do plan on printing out stickers for stars right here and putting what my rating is on all of them. But I'm going to go ahead and go into this. So in this section right here, we have audiobook, ebook, or book, ebook, audiobook, title, author, genres, date published, page count, recommended by, date started, date finished. So I forgot what date I started in December, but I know I started in December. And I finished on January 3rd. 3 sentences about the book, my review. I mean, this isn't a this book was just a, you know, feel good Christian fiction romance, that thing. I mean, it was, so I will fill this out at some point. It's just the reviews, but I'm not there yet. So Magical Midlife Madness, it is a series, so I put the series up here as well. These are all ebooks I've been reading on my Kindle. Same thing, kind of a recap. I think this is actually from the book, back of the book, and just like the first couple lines on the back of the book, just to like draw you into finishing and reading up everything. And I think same goes over here as well. And I have not left a review or anything. I will be adding stars down here as well. I just need to actually sit down and create the stickers and print them out. And I wanted to get better sticker paper, and that was just delivered today. So I'm gonna go ahead and in here, I'm gonna turn off the Sprocket so it battery kind of doesn't die down, or, you know, it doesn't die on me. Okay, and we're gonna do Magical Midlife Invasion. And this is the first time I've been doing a log like this, so I may, in the coming years, I may change things around a little bit. I may change things while, during this year to see what because if I'm not doing reviews or any of that, then it's wasted space and I don't need that. So this was an ebook. We still haven't finished this one. So again, this is along the series. There's 10 books in this series. I think one is a novella, and like it's 7.5, 8.5 or something like that, but it's considered part of the series. So I won't finish this or do any of that until I finish the book. And I haven't printed out the one for what's it called? But one of the apps that I have been using to track my reading is this app called Bookle. And it looks like this. You can add books over here and you can see everything that you've read and your ratings and all of that type of stuff. And then when you click on them, you can say book finished, extra ratings or any of that. It tells you how many, oops, let's see, that you finished it, your read time on this, and how many pages, let's see, how fast you're reading, the trackers and all of that. There's extra stuff that you can do in here. and all of that to, you know, you can say if it was borrowed or lent or what, book options, so you can pick, you can type in the information. You can say, do you want to go by pages or percent? And when I'm doing the not the audiobooks, but the Kindle books, sometimes on the Kindle it has a page count at the bottom and I use that, but currently the book I'm reading, it only has the percentage, so I put that in. And if you kind of know how many pages are in the Kindle edition and you put that here, it kind of gives you an estimate of where you are at in the book and all of that. So start and finish date, all of that type of stuff. But in here you can see your stats, and right now it tells you how many people are reading currently, and there's always about 7,000 people reading. But the purple ones are session complete, blues are book complete, and then no reading, and I didn't read on Thursday because I just didn't have time to do it. There are readathons, I'm not taking part of that, but your overall stats, you can have a 7-day or 30-day, and you can see how many pages. So this is the page count over here and the days, and that was the time read, sorry, that wasn't the page count, that was the time spent reading. And then these are the page counts on how much I've read and all of that. And so far this year, I've read 1,751 pages. Total time so far is 40 hours. Reading speed is about 50 pages an hour, which I don't think that's right, but I don't think I'm reading that fast. Honestly, the audiobook at 3 times speed might be a little much. My best read day in pages was 178 pages. I've read 4 books so far. Best read day in minutes, 227. Longest reading streak so far is 11 days. Total reading days for January is 27. And my average book rating has been 3.62. And they have infographics that you can do and all of that type of stuff. Achievements. So it has I am currently a superhero and a philomath or philomath, neophyte, bookworms. This one, it's 10 books, 50 books, 100 books, 200, 350, 500 pages read, read time, streaks, and it says I'm an achiever. So there's a lot of other things you can. There's also an assistant that you can. So the book that I currently have, it says 83 books, and you need 1 hour and 38 minutes left to finish that. So it's is telling me what I'm doing. It tells me how much I'm keeping on track. I can add quotes into this if I want to, words that I've, So I paid for the pro version just so that way I can, do some stuff. There's a store where you can change out like the app, the button on your phone, and then change your little assistant up here as well. And then there are some other things, and you can purchase these diamonds, but as you read you get diamonds. So, and I have 1,700 diamonds. You can set your goals on how many. So I finished one goal, which was to read, or you read 10 hours in 10 days. So but my daily goal is to read at least 20 minutes a day, and I set that up. You can set up a timer and all of that. So I've been using this to keep track of when I'm reading and when I want to actually start reading the book. Let me go to the one. I'm basically gonna go back. So when you get to the book that you want to do, all you want to do is continue reading, and then it comes up with a timer. And at the very end, this is where you can add characters, words, all of this type of stuff. You can listen to music or ambient sounds, which I don't really necessarily, I prefer music, not nature sounds and all of that. You can start a countdown where you say you want to do 20 minutes, and it will let you know when you've done the 20 minutes, and then it will stop. And you can pause your reading, like if you get distracted like I do with cats, and then you can stop it. And with the audiobook, I just say how long I was that save, and it just kind of says, okay, you listen to however many seconds, 30 seconds of the book, and then you can hit save and it saves that reading record. But in this case, I'm going to say don't save. So I am listening to Drums of Autumn on, I think, 3 times speed. Yeah, 3 times speed. Don't ask. And yes, I can understand what's being said. For the longest time, I read it at 2 times speed, and I just recently bumped it up because there's so much. This book is so long that, I mean, with it being normal, I have 23 hours left of this book. And title details. 44 hours and 50 minutes is the listen time at normal speed. So I have bumped it up significantly. And I was listening to it at work today, so I listened to a whole lot. With it at 3 times speed, I have 7 hours and 50 minutes left to listen to this book. I've been listening to this book since last year, and it started it in December sometime. So it's been a very long book, and all of that. So I am going to move on to the TV watching stuff. I have watched a lot and all of that, and I am going to go ahead, and I already have this one printed, but I'm going to try to print out all the other ones that I have here, and I'm going to reprint these out because I don't know if you can tell, but the print quality is not the best on these. So I'm going to reprint these out, and I can remove them very carefully. Awesome. Awesome. Very carefully. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to be reprinting. I think I'm going to have to get more paper at some point, but I'll be back once I'm done reprinting. Okay, I got a note saying the Sprocket needs to cool down before it prints anymore, and all I have left to print is this one. So, and I've only watched like 2 or 3 episodes on that, so we will get back to that later. But I'm going to go ahead and lay these down. Now, I've been trying to find an app that I can use to track my TV shows, but if they're only on the platform Viki, a lot of the ones don't have that as an option. But if you have I found one, TV Time, and it's fairly decent. So it does have some, so I have where I'm tracking Wonderland of Love, and this is my 600 Pound Life, Where Are They, on that one. And Her Private Life was not available on Netflix, Hulu, or any of that. It's only on Viki, so it didn't have this, and I think some of these other ones wouldn't have it. So it's not the best for me. But for those that watch a lot of the stuff, you know, watch a lot of different TV shows. So it's like I had the shows that I was able to track. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, which is this one, Wonderland of Love, and My 600-Pound Life right here. So, or it's this one of these two. And I found this after I had started all of this. So I am still trying to find a movie tracker that is kind of digital, because I have my phone with me pretty much all the time, and don't have this with me, but that doesn't have the ones that are on Viki or any of that. So I have multiple pages of this over here, and then the way that I have this set up is pretty much the same way as the book. However, I'm cutting the page in half and putting my most watched platforms. So Viki, Netflix, Discovery Plus, and other. And this is kind of not the, you'll see when I get back here that I've added some extra room to say what that other is. But we put the title, and if I know the Korean title, I put the Korean because I can write Korean. The director, the main actors, the genre, the dates that it was aired, how many episodes, was it recommended by anybody, and I think I deleted this recently, and date started watching, date finished, to give me more room. So it's like, I think I did some changes here, and we'll get to that in a little bit when we get there. I put some stars right here, but again, I'm gonna print out some stars and cut them out and all of that and put them here. And then I just put the synopsis. I kind of go to Wikipedia or Asian Wiki or some of those, and try to get a brief synopsis of the story. So we have the matchmakers, but I reprinted. So let's see if we can get these to come off like we did on the other page without doing too much damage. We're doing a fairly good job. Perfect. Ahead and filled out these two shows off camera because the battery died, and I just did not want to go and get a new battery while I was in the midst of writing everything. So this is My Demon and Chuck, and this is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I watch it almost every single year, just because it's hysterical. That one did not print, so I haven't filled in my thoughts on some of these, and that's just because I haven't done them yet. So I will get to that at a later date. But now that I have the bulk of it pretty much done, I can finish that. And this one's episodes, and I'm going to put seasons. It is still an ongoing. It says it's still like from 2012 to present currently, so I'm not gonna fill that information out at the moment. And like I said, there's some dates started, finished that I need to go and figure out. Places that I kind of keep track of that is here in my planner, and I can flip to a page where I've been trying to keep track of some of it. So down here on my planner, I write down the TV shows of what I've watched, and towards the end of the week, I never end up filling them out. So, but here I started off strong at the beginning of the year with listing everything, but it hasn't gone that way. Okay, so going back to the book log. I forgot to do this. So I did not read on the 25th. I can fill out number of books I want to read was 1, and minutes I want to spend reading, I just question mark, because I never really kept track of that. I am going to go ahead and fill in, I've read 28th and all the way, because at work I listen to an audiobook, so I've technically read, but I am gonna, and I also couldn't go to sleep last night, so I pulled out my Kindle and was reading that in the morning, so I technically got my reading at 12:30 in the morning. So there is one more day. I'm gonna read tomorrow as well. I'm gonna go ahead and start listing down the books right here, and also why reading is important to me. And I plan on finishing this. I'm not planning on finishing the Drums of Autumn, because that's still a lot to do within tomorrow. So that is what the January looks like. I will pick out a book out of these, and I'm not quite sure. But this series, the Magical Midlife Madness, it's the Leveling Up series. And basically, the main character, Jacinta, Jessie, she is just a regular person. She just got divorced from her husband of 20 years or something like that. Her son is off in college, and she's trying to figure out what to do with her life now that she's divorced, doesn't have a job, all of that type of stuff. So she, at the very beginning, she moves in with her parents. That was a horrible experience for her. So when she was offered to go and be the caretaker of a house in the Sierra Mountains, she decides to go because she had visited the house when she was younger, and she was very intrigued by the house. Well, the house ends up being a magical house, and things happen from there. So there's shapeshifters, vampires, gargoyles, a puka, and an alicorn. Same creature, just different body forms. There's also magicians, mages, and some other things, and it's a very funny series, and it's very easy to read because it almost is like the people are talking to you. But when I read, I do read every single word, and I'm also like creating images in my head of what is happening, and I've always read that way, and that makes, for me, that's why I enjoy reading, and that's why I say it's an escape, because I literally see the world in my head as I'm reading it. And I love fantasy books because, and this is kind of along the fantasy type stuff, I love fantasy books because it's not real world type things, and you see that in a lot of my TV shows, that a lot of it is fantasy type stuff, and it's just, I like that kind of like imagination and the unknown and all of that type of stuff. So I enjoy reading and watching a lot of fantasy books, TV shows, movies, all of that type of stuff. So that's why it's like, it lets me relax and enjoy the story, because I put myself in the story, but not as one of the characters. I'm just someone there that's watching everything happen, kind of the fly on the wall type of thing. And that's how I enjoy those type of things. So at the end of the month, I will pick one of the books out of here, and it might be the first one, because if you're going to continue reading the series, you have to enjoy the first series. So it's probably going to be the book of the month is the Midlife Madness, the first one. And then the actual number of books read, right now it's 3, but I'm going to try to get to 4. And then with the Bookle app on my phone, I will try to, I wonder if someone hacked into my, I keep getting notices saying, you have friend suggestion on Facebook. When did that start happening? Like popping up on my thing. But in the Bookle app, I'll be able to, once I finish for the month, I'll be able to put down how many minutes I actually spent reading. And then I can kind of go by that and figure out how much I might want to do for February. I have already set up February, and for February, I am using the red marker and using that. So I plan is to read for all 29 days, but I know things happen. So I'm gonna, at least if I cannot physically read a book, like pull out my Kindle or read a book, I'm gonna try to listen to an audiobook for at least 20 minutes a day and try to do that and not have, right now I've missed 3 days in January, which is not bad on reading. And like I said, some of those days it was just the 20 minutes. I read a chapter, it, you know, took 20 minutes to read the chapter, and that was it for the day. And down here for the yearly, again, why is this important to me for reading? I put down that I want to read 12 books, minutes spent reading, I have no idea. Some ways that I can reach my goal, and, you know, audiobooks is one of them. Listen to audiobooks, listen while I'm cleaning. Listen at work. Like today, I just put the book on, and because I had a lot of data entry type stuff that I had to do today, so I was able to just put the book on and just kind of go into its 18th century. I think that's right, 18th century New England. So, and then I will come down here and say, yes, I achieved my goal and the date that I completed the goal, book of the year, quote of the year, which I don't really keep track of quotes. So genre, I will be able on the Bookle app to figure out stats at the end of the year, and it will tell me what was my favorite genre on the books and everything. So, and then the rest of the yearly app, I didn't think I was going to read so much, so I just went to 5. So it may be that once I highlight this, if I read more than 5 in 1 month, I might put the actual like number, how much I read up here. But as far as we're going with January, it's going to be 4 for January, and which I think is really good for me, and it's pretty much like a book a week. So then going into the TV log stuff here, I have January right here, and I will need to pick a show, but I'll do that at a later date to figure out what I want to do. Number of TV shows watched, I'm not putting like anything down there, so I will fill this out based on this and the ratings just like I did. So let me go ahead and okay. So this Wonderland of Love, I forget when I started that. Oh, it was right after. January 15th. Okay. So I started that, watched several episodes, and then I got distracted because I wanted to watch My Demon because all the episodes were posted on that, and I'm a binge watcher, so I don't want to watch an episode and have to wait until the next week for the next episode. I want to watch them all in one sitting pretty much. So I stopped watching Wonderland of Love and watched My Demon, and once I finished that, I'm back up to Wonderland of Love, and I don't know how many more episodes I have, but we're getting there towards the end. So I will do the same thing over here. That's January. Overview. I have not set up February yet. And over here, I'll figure out what is my show of the year and movie of the year. So far, I have not watched any movies, and then I'll be able to kind of say how many I've finished. And right now we're at 5 that I've finished so far, and I've not tracked the TV shows in the past. So this is my first year doing this. So I did 10 plus because I had no idea how many I would watch at all. I watch a lot, obviously, because there's a lot here, and I have been trying to focus on reading a lot more than doing this. So I'd eventually like to see how many minutes I spend. So it's like I might need to set up timers or something like that to figure out the minutes on how much I spend watching TV, because I watch a lot of TV and it is a lot of time. But a lot of it is, you know, I put it in the background. I watch YouTube videos as well back here. I've been watching a lot about publishing and side hustles, starting Etsy shops, all of that type of stuff. So I have a lot going on. So I'll input the information here once the month is over, and then a reflection for the end of the year. So I know that this was a bit of a long video and lots of details and all of that, and eventually I will try to figure out how to film these, but it's my first one, so I am just taking you guys along. And this allows you to also see how many books and what type of books I've been reading. And I like the magical midlife madness in that series, and it's not everybody's cup of tea because it is a romance novel. There's lots to talk about that type of stuff, and so if you're not into that, definitely the Christian, if you're not into the Christian stuff, it's kind of, but I honestly like to read pretty much anything and everything, but there's not any nonfiction in here, and I would like to try to add a nonfiction book in, but those can kind of get boring every once in a while, you know. And for me, it's like I want to read to escape and all of that, and I don't want to be hit with facts all the time, because I want to escape. That's the reason I'm reading and watching TV and all of that type of stuff. So all in all, so far so good. We'll see how much I can keep on track with this throughout the year, but I know that some of you wanted to see kind of like how I'm tracking things and all of that type of stuff. And once I finish the Magical Midlife Love, I will color code this, and I'm going in rainbow order of my markers. And I do have 4 colored, so in this I am counting the Heiress one. That is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I am going to post this a little bit later than normal because I still need to edit the video, and I don't know if my computer's going to cooperate with me. So I am filming this on Tuesday, but I think it's time for me to go eat dinner. It is now nearly 7 o'clock. So goodness gracious, I've been doing this for 2 hours. It's dinner time, so it's time for me to start to eat dinner and wind down, and I'm exhausted. I don't know if you can see the bags under my eyes. My eyes are all itchy and burning and all of that right now. I've taken allergy medicine, allergy eye drops already twice today, and I don't know what it might be the air freshener that I put in the house, because as soon as I sat down here, it's like my eyes just started getting worse and worse and worse. But it just turned off for the night at 6 o'clock, so hopefully it won't start back up until tomorrow, and all of that. So anyways, I will be back on Friday with a budget check-in, and then again on Sunday with a cleaning video, and I actually did clean the house again. So it's a lot of footage in the cleaning video. I am deep cleaning the front room and the TV room, and getting back on track with my zone cleaning, deep cleaning schedule, along with resetting the house. And there are some areas in the house that needed a little bit deeper clean than just resetting like I normally do. So we have some good motivation for cleaning if you guys need it on Sunday. So I will be back in one of my next videos. I hope that you like this, and I will be back next time. Bye everybody.